إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين وبعد فيا أيها الإخوة المسلمون اتقوا الله تعالى كما قال الله تعالى في الكتاب أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. For indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also told us in the Quran, Innal lazina amanu wa amilus solihati ulaika hum khairul bariyah jazaohum inda rabbihim jannatu adnin tajri min tahtihal anharu khalidina fiha abada radiyallahu anhum wa radu anhu zalika liman khashiya rabbah. More than often not, we hear about things that are wrong, things that we should not be doing. And while we need to hear these things, it is also refreshing to be reminded about the magnificent end awaiting us, people who stay on the straight and narrow path of goodness in this dunya. And the greatest, and to let it be a motivator for us. And there is no greater motivator for the ummah, for the Muslim brother or sister than Jannah. And today in my khutbah, inshallah, I'll talk about Jannah a little bit, and then at the end I will try to give a little advice as well at the end of my khutbah, my second khutbah. And inshallah, if everybody sits together and to talk about Jannah, they will not do justice in it. They will spend weeks talking about Jannah and the greatness of it. And I will just talk about few things compiled from the Quran about what Allah described Jannah for us, inshallah. Dear brothers and sisters, Jannah is a fruit of a seed planted in this dunya. This is why I read the surah I read, said, the ayah I read, said, Innal lazina amanu wa amilu salihati ulaika hum khairul bariyah. The people who do good, who believe and do righteous deed and do good, they are the best of creation, and their reward with their Lord is Eden, meaning paradise, gardens of eternity, underneath which rivers flow. They will abide therein forever. Allah is well pleased with them, and they are well pleased with Him. That is for him who fears his Lord. And again, Jannah is something you have to fix in this dunya first to earn it. It is say a retirement package that you save up in all your years of work that you've worked in this dunya. We are considered the best of nation. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us glad tidings of paradise. He has promised gardens of eternity, Eden. Allah has promised such delight, as He said in the Quran in Surah Sajdah, فَلَا تَعْلَمُ نَفْسٌ مَا أُخْفِيَ لَهُم مِّن قُرَّةِ أَعْيُنٍ جَزَاءً بِمَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. And no soul knows what has been hidden for them of comfort in the eye, قُرَّةِ أَعْيُنٍ, as a reward for what they used to do in this dunya. So Allah has promised such delight that no eye has ever seen, no ear has ever heard of, and no mind can imagine what Allah has prepared for us for Jannah. And if you are asked about its grounds, its soils, then it is of musk and saffron. Its roof, that's Jannah, is the throne of the most merciful. Its rocks are pearls and jewels. Its buildings are made of bricks of gold and silver. Its trees have trunks made of gold and silver. The fruits are softer than butter and sweeter than honey. Its leaves They are softer than a softest cloth. Its rivers are rivers of milk, whose taste does not change, and rivers of wine that is so delicious that for those who drink it, and you will never have a hangover, you will never have a headache from it. And that it has rivers of honey that are pure and rivers of water that are fresh. The food is fruits from whatever you choose, whatever you desire is waiting for us in Jannah. And the meat of whatever birds you desire. Life will be so easy that if you just see a bird flying and you wanted to eat that bird, it will just fall down and become barbecue for you, and you will have that. That is just, the inhabitants will also have horses made from emeralds and pearls that fly and go around wherever you want to go with you. The drinking cups are crystal clear, made of gold and silver. And if you are asked about its vastness, then the lowest of the people who are in the lowest part of Jannah will have within his kingdom and walls and palaces and gardens the distance that will be traveled in 1,000 years. And we are told that Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu told us that a tree in Jannah, one tree, its shade is so large that a strong wolf will run 1,000 years and it will not pass the shade of that tree. And we are told, but saying Subhanallah, Walhamdulillah, Wa la ilaha illallah, mostly what we do after Salah, the tree is planted for you in Jannah. I mean, its tent is like a concealed pearl that is 60 miles long. Every believer will have 4 doors to his house. The first one for the angels to come visit him. The second for the Urul Ain, and I will get to that in a little bit. The third door will be a closed door between him and hellfire, Jahannam, so he will be reminded of the blessing he is in and what Allah has forbidden him from. And then the last door is the door through the Darus Salam, where he will go to meet with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Their towers are rooms above rooms in buildings that have rivers running underneath them. This is all said in the Quran. I just summarized compilation of it. And if you ask about the clothing of the inhabitants, Allah told us that they are silk and gold. That's what they will wear. The faces of the inhabitants of Jannah and their beauty, they are like the image of the moon. And they will be hearing the singing of their wives from among the Urul Ain. And better than that are the voices of the angels and the prophets. And better than that is the speech of the Rabb, the speech of the Lord of all the worlds, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They will have young boys, as said in the Quran, they will have young boys who are servants, who are resembled like skirted pearls. Beautiful. And if you were to ask about their brides and wives, that is for us, then they are young and they have full breast and have the liquid of youth flowing through their limbs. The sun runs along the beauty of her face. Light seemed to shine. Light will shine between her teeth when she smiles. This Urul Ain, you could see your face from their cheek when you look at them because of the brightness and beauty. It's like you're looking at a polished mirror. And this person in Jannah or he sees the brightness from behind her muscles and her bones. Everything is super beautiful. And can I tell you, the most beautiful woman for you on that day, for this man, is the wife he had in this life. For she will be the queen of this Urul Ain, for she deserves better, more beauty than them, and they will be her maidens. In Jannah, you will meet people you have always wanted to meet, or those you missed. Family members, great scholars, revivers, angels, prophets. messengers. All you gotta do is think about who you wanna meet, and it's right there. Allahu Akbar. But Ibn Qayyim mentions from his compilation of ahadith about the greatest meetings, the happiest moment one could ever experience. On that day, the caller will call, Ya Ahlul Jannah, O people of paradise, your Lord subhanahu wa ta'ala requests you to meet him. So come visit him. And they will say, we hear, Sami'na wa ata'na, we hear, we obey, we will go meet our Rabb. Until when they finally reach the wide valley where they will all meet, and none of them will turn down the request of this caller. The Lord subhanahu wa ta'ala will order his chair to be brought down there. Then pulpits of light will just emerge, as well as pulpits of pearls, gemstone, gold, and silver. It's just something you can imagine in this dunya as bright, as beautiful. And the lowest of the person in Jannah, the lowest in rank, will sit on seats of musk, and will not see what those who have sat on an above chair and a higher chair see, that those who have higher chairs, because everybody has a category in Jannah as well. They will not see above them. When they are comfortable where they are sitting and are secured in their places, then the caller calls again, Ya Ahlul Jannah, you have an appointment with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in which he wishes to reward you. So they will say, and what is that reward? Has he not already made our faces bright, made our scales heavy, entered us in his Jannah, and pushed us away from the fire? And when they are like that in that discussion, all of a sudden a light shines that encompasses all of Jannah. So they raise their heads to look, and behold, the Compeller, the Exalt, the Almighty, with all his holy names, you can name him, has come to them from above them and majestified them and said, Ya Ahlul Jannah, Assalamun alaikum. May Allah make us among these people. So they will greet this. Allah will greet them with Assalam, and this greeting will not be responded to with anything better than what we say mostly when we finish our salah. O Allah, Rabbi anta salam, wa minka salam, tabarakta wa ta'alayta, ya zal jalali wal ikram. This will be the response. O Allah, you are peace, and from you is peace. Blessed are you, O possessor of majesty and honor. So the Lord, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, will laugh to them and say, O people of paradise, where are those who used to obey me without ever seeing me? This is the day of increase for you. So they will all give the same response. We are pleased, so be pleased with us. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, will say, O people of paradise, if I were not pleased with you, I will not have made you inhabitants of my Jannah. So ask me of anything. So they will all give the same response. Show us your face, Ya Rabbi. Show us your face so we may look at it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will remove his covering and will majestify them and will cover them with his nur, which if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had not willed, that nur will burn them completely. Will burn them completely if Allah has not removed that nur for them to be able to bear. And there will not remain a single person in that gathering except that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will speak to him directly and ask him, do you remember the day that you did this and that? And he will remind him of some of his bad deeds in this world. So he will say, my Rabb, will you not forgive me? And he will say, of course, you have not reached this position you are in except by my forgiveness. May Allah forgive us all. May Allah grant us this Jannah. I could not do justice in Jannah. I could not explain further. There is so many. We can continue on and on and on and on about the beauty of Jannah, about what is planted for us. And I can tell you from one of these famous ahadith that this is the motivator, this is hope. That whoever said La ilaha illallah will enter Jannah. Now the question is, are you going to go direct or indirect? And I ask Allah to make me and all of us to enter Jannah directly. So this is the story. This is the hadith from Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that told us, explaining that from Allah's mercy is so big that the last person to enter Jannah, the last person, meaning this person has been in hell for say billions of years and has been there tortured, and because there is that one moment this person sat down and said La ilaha illallah, and he meant it and he believed in it, just that one moment, this person will be the person who has done every sin you could think of in the book, anything you can imagine of a sin that somebody has done to be punished in hellfire. This person has done it, but just because of one day, this person has sat down and said, La ilaha illallah, and meant it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take this last person out of Jannah, and Allah will bring him out, and he will come out. I know time is not much, but I will try and do much as best. He will come out of hellfire, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will tell him, go into Jannah. And he will just stand there watching. He's just been saved from hellfire. He's just content with that for now. And Allah says, let's go into Jannah. And he will look into the doors of Jannah. He will see the beauty of it. And he will see the fruits. And he wants to taste it. Remember, the fruits of the food and fruits of Jannah are haram for people in hellfire. And he is hungry. He sees this fruit. And he will like, can I just go in and just get that fruit? I just want to go grab that fruit. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, you can get more than that. Now tell me, anything you will have imagined you wanted in this dunya. And this is again the last person to enter Jannah. He will ask him, anything that you have imagined that you wanted in dunya, everything that a mind can think of, I want it in this dunya. Say you wanted to be a monarch, that everything you ever wanted, you have it. Any riches, any money, any wives, or any beauty, whatever you wanted in this dunya is just right in presence of you. And Allah will tell him, think of that. Whatever you wanted to be the king of kings in this dunya. And he will just imagine that, and Allah will say, I will give you that. And I'll give it to you again. And I'll give it to you again. And I'll give it to you again. By the time he reached the fifth time, this man will say, and jump with happiness. Oh Allah, thank you. That's enough. I'm happy. And then Allah will say, I will give it to you 10 times more. And I will give you that, and I will enter you into my Jannah. That is your reward for one La ilaha illallah in your entire life. Allah will give you everything a mulk will want in this dunya, 10 times of it. He will give it to them. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, we are told that when he was explaining this, you could see his expression. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was smiling, was beaming with happiness. For this is the last person to enter Jannah. This is how much reward he has. May Allah make it easy for us to enter Jannah. May Allah give us the ability to enter Jannah. May Allah reward us nothing but Jannah. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين والمسلمات فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Know that whoever loves meeting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah too loves to meet with him. And whoever hates the meeting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah too hates the meeting with him. But know that you have to fulfill the cause of earning Allah's love or anger in this dunya. And the way to Allah's love is worshiping him alone through obedience. Every time a person is sincere in their supplications, Allah loves him more. The qualities of those who deserve the glad tidings of Jannah, as I mentioned, are those who tried in this dunya to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala according to the sunnah. Those who do not break family ties, for example, ties with their brothers and sisters. Those who do not split up the ummah, but try and rather keep them up as one. Now ask yourself, let's just be honest with ourselves. I just told you about the greatest motivator. And ask yourself every moment of your life, sitting down, if you were to die in that state you are in, will you be pleased? Will Allah be pleased with you? Will you be pleased to meet Allah in such a state? And if the answer is no, brothers or sisters, then make effort and change that state to be better. Change the state to earn this Jannah that we are promised to earn. How sad it is that when people passes away, we cry, we humble ourselves, turn to Allah for a couple of days, making promises we will never turn back to such sin and such pitiful ways. But when the heart is dead and the mind is away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is not a single tear in sight, not a single turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I will tell you one last story before I let you go. You will find a story of a slave who is very pious, and he wanted to teach his master a lesson. The master told him one day to plant wheat for bread. So the slave took the opportunity and went and collected seeds of barley, and then he planted them instead. As the season drew near, the master was enraged to see that all of this work and time, the slave planted the wrong seed. In his trust and rage, he scolded at the slave and saying, "Why did you do this?" The righteous slave said quietly to him, "I had hoped that the barley seed will come out to be wheat." The master said, How can you plant that? How can you plant barley and then expect to have it to come out as wheat? How can you do that? And then the slave stopped and said again to him, "And how can you disobey Allah and expect for his boundless mercy? How can you openly challenge Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his deen and you hope for Jannah?" So let's think about this. When we contemplate on our behavior, do we really think that we are worthy of Jannah? This is something we need to think. Can any of us just think about that? Think about how much you want Jannah. And every day at your state, make sure you do what you can to attain this Jannah. We try to keep good companions. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has even told us a story of an animal, a dog in Surah Al-Kahf, whose story was mentioned at the time of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam and is still going to continue until ila yawmiddin. Because what? Just because that dog was so honored. Why was that dog honored and mentioned in the Quran? Because he chose good companions. He chose righteous companions of those youth who took refuge in the cave. This dog is being mentioned. And I gave this example for you to think. Nowadays, we need to choose the right companionship. And some of us, wallahi, don't even choose the same gender as companion, not less the right people. May Allah make it easy for us. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا آتنا ما وعدتنا على رسلك ولا تخزنا يوم القيامة إنك لا تخلف الميعاد. عباد الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون فاذكروا الله يذكركم وأقيموا الصلاة. Thank you.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
استووا تراسوا الله أكبر.